Welcome to the Whiskey Vault.
I'm Daniel.
Rex.
This is another gift from Patron Saint Rob Halla.
Rob Halla, your patron saint of whiskey. Ooh, it's good.
These are identically matched tones.
Yeah. And it was
That's
the
rare.
precision. We were in synchronized.
That's rare.
Simultaneous dings.
Usually there's a variation on this.
What whiskey received that honor? Calvert Woodley. We just did Calvert Woodley.
Yeah, but
Rare single cask, single malt Scotch whiskey distilled in Campbeltown. It's a Campbeltown. Rare, what? Your point 23 years. And then
Springbank.
where does this
Or
space?
it's just a Campbeltown.
Oh, it's way up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Springbank.
Springbank.
Nice.
One of my favorite Campbelltown releases.
Non-chill filtered.
Yeah.
Very, very light.
But
as
is it
you
proof down?
did.
Because I didn't realize the other one had been proof down. It is 42.5 is evidently their standard release. 23-year-old single cask
pretty
of
good.
Springbank.
It's pretty good.
We're going to compare it
Pretty good.
to the Springbank 12.
Yeah. What's the?
Although, now that I'm realizing this is 42.5,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I need a Springbank that's more
Lower?
like the 10.
What is the one?
But I don't know if I have the Springbank 10.
The 12 is 57.1%.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
do. Let me see what the proof is on the 10 because that'll be
You want me to get it?
maybe.
Oh, you got it. Use a tippy toes.
46, close enough. We'll do this instead. Now, this shouldn't be anything like this, but what I'm going to compare is this is pretty accessible.
Okay.
You can get this anywhere that they have Campbeltown Scotch,
Okay.
but it's, 13 years younger.
Right.
So first,
Higher proof, a lot younger. Can I say this?
ooh, phenolic.
It's kind of fleshy.
Rubber glove.
Okay. I was gonna say
It's iodine and rubber gloves.
it smells like it's like somebody's skin. Like
This is
you ever play sports and you're like tackling or you're like guarding, you get a big
what-
face full of somebody's meat.
you know what it is?
Somebody's meat smell just right up in your.
It's that salty, musty note.
It's not
with
BO.
the rubber glove phenolic note mixed with peach,
Peach?
with sweet fruit.
Maybe rubber
And
glove.
you're getting
rubber glove and hand sweat? Maybe
Yeah.
that's it. Wow, okay.
And it's very fruity on the nose when you think about it that way.
Hold it. You say very fruity?
Yeah. Once you get past that really phenolic funk.
Here's the thing. The 23 years has really taken the edge off of the phenolic.
Oh yeah.
So we say phenolic.
Frolicking, like frolicking.
Phenolicking through the Dewey Meadow. So you say phenolic, and I think a lot of people are going to be associating that with Lafroig and Lagavulin and Ardbeg.
No, not
smoke.
smoky.
Right. This is way softer and more round and
Yeah.
and just it's more delicate. Is the word? But again, we're at low 40s in the proof.
All right. So look at the 10.
So they probably did a
There's
little bit
that. Yeah.
E150 there.
There's that brine and phenolic turned up aggressively.
Yeah, it's got some more. It's throwing some elbows. More
Whereas
lively.
now you go back to the 23 and it adds honey and the citrus note.
Maybe I'm gonna find more on the taste of the 23-year-old because this is much more of a neutralized, soft.
I really wish they hadn't proofed every one of them down.
Yeah.
That's the only downside of
Like
that.
the 23 is very exciting, but the nose that I would expect from a 23-year-old, it feels like the 23 didn't let these layers evolve and turn into a lot of complexity, just kind of like smoothed out all of the gradients in between.
Yeah, that's often what happens with older. I rarely do I prefer the older scotches.
Okay.
My sweet spot for Scotch is 10 to 18. Somewhere between 10 and 18, I always find my favorite representation of a distillery.
Yeah.
Over 18, I tend to get bored. And under, it's just a little too young and malty.
I'd
For
say
some.
I'm probably about in the same place. For bourbon, right now at least, I'm feeling like the 5 to 10-year-old.
Me too. Except in Texas, where I think it's 3.
Well, when I say bourbon, I mean like
Kentucky.
classic. Yeah, Tennessee.
In Texas,
Kentucky.
my sweet spot. I'm finding of all the guys who've been making it for a while, it tends to be around 3 years old.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to
getting my favorite notes.
You're not gonna get 5 years out of a Texas heat.
I'm gonna take a sip of the 23 first before the 10-year-old wipes it out.
The more this lives in the glass, it's starting to open up a bit more. But again, okay.
Yep. Very simple. That is the most mild Springbank I've ever tasted in my entire life.
It's very nice. Has a slight, thin, watery peach, a sweet, fruity maltiness. There's just a softness all around that.
Taste the tin, though, because as much as the nose is way more dramatic, the palate is equally soft.
Doesn't Springbank have like this reputation from, toss you around the room?
It is, but I usually use the 12-year-old cask strength to toss you around the room. Their 10 is a little more accessible.
Okay. Which makes sense, because about a year ago, I was having a conversation with somebody, and they were like, Springbank, that's not very intense, but I think it was
12-year-old cask strength.
There you go, the cask strength.
Yeah.
They're like, Springbank's nothing, man.
There is a toasted caramel note that shows up on the back edge of the Springbank that's not on the 23. It's on the 10, but it's not on the 23.
Yeah, there is more of
a single cask.
Of a prominent, obvious, lively sweetness.
Yeah, like a butterscotch. It's a little stronger.
The fruity, the Scotch honey. Yeah. Should we? I don't know. Because there's a lot across categories, across countries, across regions. There's a lot of flavors that you're going to be naming. But very often, an American whiskey fruitiness is going to be quite a bit different than a Scotch whiskey fruitiness. Same thing with like an American whiskey honey is going to be different than a Scotch whiskey honey.
Bourbon, a corn. I would refine that to a corn fruitness is different than a malt fruitness. Because when we're distilling our malt, I get a lot of the fruit overlaps that I get on Scotch.
Okay.
A lot.
Right.
When we're distilling our bourbon new make, I get bourbon fruit.
But the question,
which is like honeydew.
But the question still stands. The premise of across categories, across regions, a lot of the terminology that people are using is things like fruity and honey and.
Got to be more refined on what kind of fruit.
Yeah.
That's why I try to name the fruits. Like for me in Scotch, it tends to be more peaches and apricots and the honey direction sweeter fruits, whereas in like the bourbon fruit notes tend to be more like melon direction.
Yeah.
For me, honeydew.
So if you like Springbank, these are both really nice.
Yeah.
Between the two,
still prefer the 10.
Yeah. So
that would make 2 out of 2 that I preferred the large brand release from the single cask from Calvert Woodley.
So you really like what they're doing. Whenever they have a profile and they have hundreds of barrels to choose from and they're aiming for that profile.
On these 2 releases, yes. I think they chose well. The single cask is good and it's interesting and unique and it's fun to get to explore, which is why I like independent bottles.
Yeah.
But I love the developed complexity of a blend of barrels.
You know what? I could go either way. If I want something that's just a little bit easier and less challenging, this is going to be that you get the sense of 20 years of aging and roundness and maturity.
Yeah, you definitely do.
That shows up. If I'm not afraid of it throwing some elbows, being that lively presentation of, flavors that may poke you a little bit, not too harshly.
Can I say something that would be sacrilegious?
Please.
I kind of wish this was a little bit darker.
Can we get the Lee 150 in here?
Like, look, if I'm going to pour somebody at my house a 23-year-old whiskey.
They do want it, yeah.
And it looks like this.
Right.
Like
we've said this so many times before. We understand, obviously, why distillers do it.
Yeah.
It's not for us, though. It's for it's the person in your house who they hear an age statement like that and they want to see some color.
But there is a part of my brain that's like, that's not right.
Here's the happy medium, right?
Yeah.
There's the solution. Every bottle that you buy Scotch or whatever, it comes with a little side vial of E150.
Make it as dark as you want.
Right. So you get like a friend over and you put a few drops in there so they can get the color they want.
Yeah.
And then you can have it pure.
You gotta be really careful. It's more like dip a toothpick in the E150 and then dip a toothpick in the glass, and then and it comes back black as sin.
Yeah.
You're like, what happened to this? Is that coffee?
Uncle Mikey's World, Rex's opening comment makes me wonder what happened to the mystical bunghole.
Yeah.
Yes, so
did it move to Sun Pop? Or does it have multiple portals through which to speak?
We have. There's things.
You have plans?
Yeah.
All right.
Have I told you?
No. Don't tell me.
Okay.
It's for the best.
You know what? I'll give you a clue as to what we're going to be doing,
Okay.
which is not going to help you at all. Silver Surfer. Andrew Chance.
Like the Butthole Surfers?
Wow. Wow.
You never heard of the band called the Butthole Surfers?
I have.
Yeah.
Pepper. Rolling down a mountain. Come on. I know it well, but no.
Okay.
Not Butthole Surfers.
Bunghole Surfers?
It's actually better than what I had in mind. Andrew Chance, I do not say this often or lightly, but Daniel,
Yeah.
you should listen to Rex. I'm just going to stop there. I don't want to read the rest. For something that I can't go to a bar to try for myself.
He
a
was talking
comparison
about-
would be so useful before I
Yes.
decide to go hunting for a bottle.
Yes.
I'm saying, so when are we doing that?
Yeah, we're comparing it. We're doing it right now. We've
that-
done it for the last...
Have we been doing it? Well, no, but this thing, the Z.
Yeah, we did it with ones that we had easy comparisons for.
So you want this to be easy?
Well, no, because if I compare it to another thing, it's like, you know what? In most of these weird ones, here's what it's going to be like. It's going to be like, so I got this dog. You're like, what kind of dog is it? Oh, like, you ever seen Old Yeller? Yeah. No, it's not like that.
No.
Have you ever seen White Thing? Yeah, I love that movie.
It's not like that.
It's not like that either.
No. The basis of comparative tasting.
Yeah.
The reason why it is
Compare and
so helpful.
contrast,
Yes,
yes.
compare and contrast. So, you know this. Comparative
Yes,
tasting.
yes.
Oh, this is way more oaky. And this has more vanilla. This has vanilla. You know the vanilla, but this has even... That's the kind of thing.
Yeah. We did it with the ones that were like, I know that what I compare it to would give you a lot of Venn diagram overlap with only a few things missing.
I think
So we did about half of them.
I just think we should try harder.
Who's the we you're talking about? You got a mouse in your pocket?
We should try harder. Here's to fighting, stealing, and drinking.
If you fight me, I fight for a friend.
Steal, may you steal your liver side.
And if you drink, may you drink with us.